see behind me, just a little bit bigger on the screen, you can head over to one of those platforms. Again, that's YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. But if you want the behind-the-scenes version, TikTok is the best place to be. Go ahead and comment where you're watching from or any weather questions that you have today, and I'll get to those comments in just a few minutes. We're going to start the forecast in just a minute. Hey, happy Monday. Thanks for joining us on this Monday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox here with Hail Trace to talk about the big headlines for your forecast today. We've got a large risk for hail across the high plains. This does include Denver. Golf ball sized hail are possible anywhere from Colorado up to Montana. So we've got several areas across the states that we're watching for those severe storms today. Not only today, but also tomorrow, we're watching for severe weather. And then out to the north and east, we haven't forgotten about you. There's still a lot of rain from the last few days. That rain is still ongoing out in the northeast today, but we're also watching for a little bit of a cool down over the next few days, an unseasonable cold snap. So that'll feel great up for those communities in the northeast. Hey, real quick before we get to your full forecast here, we do have an upcoming event that Hail Trace will be attending, the Texas Roofing Conference from September 11th through the 13th. We'll have a booth there. It's booth 140. We're very excited to see everyone there. So if you are coming to that event, head over to our Facebook page and let us know that you're coming. We have a full event on Facebook that you can get into. You can even buy your tickets through that event, or you can just let us know that you will see us there. We have an exclusive deal for annual plans during the show, so come see Frank at that booth and he can get you set up with that plan. All right, let's take a look at what happened yesterday across the states. Pretty active anywhere from Oklahoma all the way up the East Coast. Two areas that I want to point out here for some of the most impressive storms that we got. We had 2-inch hail just to the north of Little Rock, so that was the largest hailstone that I saw reported by the National Weather Service. And 70-mile-per-hour wind gust, pretty impressive, from a storm up in northern Oklahoma. So some very high wind for some of us as well. We had some marginally severe storms also anywhere from Atlanta all the way up the East Coast with some strong wind and large hail associated with that as well. So of course we are tracking another chance for showers and storms once again today, anywhere from Colorado all the way up to Montana. First, let me take you out to the east where you can see those showers and storms still ongoing rain for some areas that have already gotten too much rain. You know, yesterday we saw some flooding out in Connecticut. I think that they're still dealing with some of those major impacts today as well. We have showers and storms ongoing on the east side of Montana right now. That could cause strong to severe storms in this area. However, I don't see anything severe warned quite yet. Within the next few hours, that will most likely change. Talking about your lunchtime temperatures now, we are in the 70s and 80s farther up to the north, 77 in Billings, 85 in Denver. Farther down to the south, it is hot. Holy moly, yesterday in Oklahoma, we were near record-breaking heat indices, so that feel-like temperature out in the western side of the eastern side of the state, we were just like 3 to 4 degrees off from the state record for that heat index, for that feel-like temperature out to the east. So I'm hoping not to hit any of those records anytime soon here in Oklahoma. 89, it's already toasty for your lunchtime hour. 89 here in Oklahoma City, 84 up in Stillwater, even warmer down in Dallas, 93 in Dallas, 99 in Decatur, Texas, 103 for that feel-like temperature. So if you factor in the moisture in the air, you get the feel-like temperature. This is how it's hard for your body to cool off whenever those temperatures are so high. So we've got 103 in Dallas, 101 in Houston, 105 down in Florida. That seems to be the highest that I see on the map, 108, maybe even higher down in Corpus Christi. Taking a look at what to expect in terms of those storms today. Okay, so we're moving on to that chance for strong to severe thunderstorms producing large hail and high wind. The tornado risk today is very low. It's not really something that we're going to be talking about for your forecast today because it is so low, but we will be talking about that large hail starting in places like Colorado. So you can see those storms are forming right along I-25 or just a bit to the west there. That'll be this afternoon, anywhere from 2 o'clock all the way to 10 o'clock tonight. Some of the biggest hazards with this will be about 2-inch size hail and 70-mile-per-hour wind speeds. You can see those showers and storms will continue as we head into the evening hours. Mainly the bulk of this will be to the east of Denver by about 7 o'clock. You could see a few lingering showers and storms here, but I think most of this will be to the east of I-25 at this point, staying out in the eastern portion of the state as we head into the late evening hours. Still, we could get some pretty decent sized hail with this, especially just to the east of 25 there. Okay, let's take you farther up to the north now, into Montana, Wyoming, and even Idaho. Smaller hail sizes up here, especially on the western side of the state. I think we could get some larger hail sizes farther out to the east. 60-mile-per-hour wind speeds, so just marginally severe in terms of that wind speed or those wind gusts there. This will, the most likely timing for this will be anywhere between about 3 to 4 o'clock out to the west, continuing through the late night hours here. And anytime between now and 10 o'clock farther into, or now to midnight rather, into the eastern side of the state, you're going to see those showers and storms continuing, slowly moving off to the east here, creating even some potential for some excessive flooding or excessive rainfall, causing that flooding farther out in the eastern side of the state. So we'll keep an eye on that all the way through the early morning hours tomorrow morning. We always have a meteorologist on duty watching these storms, tracking them, plotting the most likely area for hail, wind, and of course that tornado threat as well as we go throughout the overnight hours. We always have someone on staff here. Taking you farther out to the east now, you can see those showers and storms continuing here on the east coast. Some lower risks with this, including small hail and high wind up to 65 miles an hour, so just barely over that severe threshold, if at all in this area. Lower severe weather risks for the east coast, as well as portions of Louisiana. You could just get some few isolated storms here that could produce some gusty wind. And then very similarly out in northern Florida, also gusty wind possible with this. But if we're talking about hail, I think it'll be very, very small, if anything at all. Most of the time, we will not see hail with these storms. Okay, that better hail chance will be farther off into Colorado and then up to Montana. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at those chances for storms today. We're gonna do the hail forecast real quick. Okay, hail forecast here. You can see that the better chances for some larger hail goes anywhere from just to the east of Denver, as I mentioned earlier, all the way up to the Nebraska Panhandle, South Dakota, and into eastern Montana. That is anywhere between 1.25 inches to 1 3/4 inches. Taking you farther up to the north here, pretty low chance out in the western side of Montana here. I think that these storms will mainly just be rain, strike of lightning, rumble of thunder, maybe some minor wind speeds, but for the most part that hail risk is going to be pretty small. Better chances for hail as we get down into Colorado, as I mentioned, just to the east of Denver. So I went ahead, I was right in the middle here between that low and moderate risk level. I think if you go a few miles to the east, you would see a moderate risk level. I went ahead and still put one on there for Denver for today, just because we are so close to those higher chances for severe storms. We'll keep an eye on it for you. Those storms could hit Denver. They could just go to a little bit farther to the east. Okay, taking a look at the max forecast hail size here, up to hen egg sized hail. I was right between that 2-inch to 2.5-inch hailstone for today. We could see tennis ball sized hail. I think it's a higher risk that we see hen egg sized hail, so right around 2 inches, which is pretty similar to what we saw yesterday as well. We could also see some high wind out there today, I think closer to 70 miles an hour in places like eastern and western sides of Montana. And then farther down to the south, I have Denver seeing about 60 to 70 mile per hour wind speeds as well. Heading farther off to the east, along the east coast, as I mentioned earlier, just marginally severe wind here, up to 60 miles an hour. So what we're watching for here is just over that severe threshold. 58 mile per hour wind speed is the threshold, so we could see just higher than that along the east coast and into northern Florida. Okay, now let's take a look at what we're expecting for tomorrow. You can see the exact area that we're expecting those showers and storms. Coming off of what we saw today, this will continue to track to the east, right along the central and northern plains, anywhere from tomorrow morning all the way into the afternoon and evening hours. Most likely, we'll see better chances for those stronger to severe storms through the afternoon and evening, but that doesn't mean we can't rule out a very isolated severe storm in the morning hours as well. Okay, this will continue through the late night, and you can kind of see this progression here where we slowly move off to the east, but I do think that the better chances for storms will stay anywhere from the central to northern plains tomorrow in a very similar spot to where we saw those storms today. This is going to be a very similar thing to what we see tomorrow Wednesday as well, so the following day. So we have 3 days here to see these strong to severe storms in a very similar spot. So today, tomorrow, Wednesday, strong to severe storms expected along the central to northern high plains, including Montana, all the way down to Wyoming, into Nebraska, and even portions of Colorado here. Alrighty, moving on to the max forecast hail size for tomorrow. I think I made it just a little bit smaller than that hen egg today. Yeah, we're gonna go ping pong ball sized hail for tomorrow. Okay, we talked about a cool down farther out to the east. Look at that, temperatures topping out at 75. That looks amazing in Philadelphia, 68 in Portland, Maine. You head farther down to the south, we are way above average in places like Dallas, where we reached the triple digits for tomorrow afternoon. Still staying hot at 102 on Wednesday, temperatures in the 90s here in Oklahoma City. And taking a look at Thursday, it looks like 104. So we're gonna stay pretty hot, well above average, down to the south as we enter into the rest of the work week. Farther up to the north and east, what's happening here is we have a low pressure system that's coming out of Canada, and it's gonna get trapped out in the northeast, which is going to cool them down. However, it looks like things are changing as we head into the later portion of August. So we're talking about the last week of August here. We kind of shift from seeing cooler temperatures out to the east to warmer temperatures, above average temperatures. As we head farther to the west, it looks like it does cool down just a little bit. We'd likely see good chances for showers and storms, just in the areas that we've talked about today, right? Central, northern plains here, that's where we're expecting a lot of that rain. We've also seen a ton of rain on the East Coast. It looks like that will continue as we look ahead to the next 5 days. But as I mentioned, into the last week of August, it looks like we're gonna have that pattern change, much drier through the central and eastern portion of the state, and cooler and wetter farther out to the west. All right, let's take a look at Ernesto, which we've been tracking in the tropics over the last 5 days-ish here. You can see that is all the way up just off the coast of the northeast, off of our New England states here. It's continuing to track to the north. So again, as we talked about last week, it's a fish storm. It has not impacted the East Coast. What is it impacting? It's just impacting the fish out in the Atlantic. This will continue to be a fish storm. It's not impacting maybe some high winds and obviously some cloud cover up to the north. However, this is going to go ahead and skirt off to the east here, not making landfall again. It is a Hurricane 1, Category 1 storm right now. It will weaken as it heads farther up to the north and into some cooler waters, not gathering as much of that energy to sustain it into a hurricane over the next few days. So we'll keep watching it for you. We are expected to have a pretty active August in terms of tropical activity, so we'll keep an eye on that for you and of course keep you updated. Thanks for joining us on this Monday afternoon. I hope that we could kick off your work week right. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. We post a lot of fun weather things on these platforms. So if you're a weather enthusiast like we are, you're gonna love our platforms. 855-334-4245. Call us for hail maps, wind maps, and tornado maps, or give us an email at info@hailtrace.com. You can also follow us or head to our website at hailtrace.com as well. We have a blog on there that we post lots of important information and just some educational tools or interesting information at hailtrace.com. That blog is a great place to get more weather information if you're into weather like we are. Okay, have a fantastic Monday. We'll see you back here, same time, same place, tomorrow afternoon. Hey TikTok, thanks for